Hello everyone, welcome to Manifest IAS, and I'll be discussing the science and technology questions which have come in the previous paper, that is the Civil Services Examination preliminary paper, that is GS1 on 10th of October this year. Here, I'll be looking into the science and technology questions, and I'll be giving you the right answer for those questions. And also, I'll be telling you from where they have been picked up, and also what is the rationale behind picking up those questions. Because we have seen this year, like there have been more science and technology questions, and that too, they have focused upon the basic science understanding, and also they have given emphasis on the health. Thanks to COVID, last year we didn't get any question related to COVID, but this year we have got two COVID related questions, and also from that angle, they have focused upon the health. So maybe it is with respect to different infections, or maybe it is with respect to the vaccines that are coming up, and the different part of diagnosis and different part of the treatment with respect to different diseases. So they have focused upon this. So I think this is the new addition to the dimension of the examination, that the UPSC is more focusing upon health from now. So coming to the questions that we have, the first question that we see in the paper, that is with respect to very basics of physics. So we come across different kind of solvents, like the water solvents or water-based solvents or the fat-based solvents. Like that, we divide into the solvents. So they are asking, water can dissolve more substances than any other liquid, because so water, as we know, it is made up of the polar ions like H plus and OH minus. So this adds a dimensionality to the water, that it can easily combine with the ions. Maybe it is the ions which are present in salt, or different substances that we try to dissolve, different chemicals that we try to dissolve. So the ions present in the water will make it more soluble, or it can dissolve more substances into it. So this is the simplest and the straight reason that we have to mark. Then it is a good conductor of heat. Yeah, different solvents, depending upon heat, their the dissolving capacity will increase. So even when we increase the heat of water, definitely the amount of substance that it can dissolve, that will become more. But that is true with other solvents also. So that is why we cannot generalize this statement. Then it has a high value of specific heat. Yeah, depending upon the specific heat, the temperature rise that is happening for every 1 degree centigrade rise, like that is subjected to the specific heat of that substance. But here we are not coming across any thing that is related to heat, because other substances also, other solvents also, the solubility will depend upon the heat. Then oxide of hydrogen, yeah, this is partial. They are telling about only the OH minus, but this is not complete in itself. Hence, the answer becomes A, and this is picked up from NCERT. So when we are talking about the different solvents and solubility, when we are talking of the process like diffusion, or when we are talking about the processes that are associated with the solutions, then we talk about this particular topic. Next question, it is about sodium lamps. Sodium lamps, these are the lamps that we use generally in the street lighting, generally. But we are trying to replace these sodium lamps that we try to use in the street lights with the newer and more efficient LEDs. So basically this focus should be on LEDs rather than sodium lamps, because LEDs are having their own advantage. So LEDs have replaced our incandescent bulbs, our older CFL bulbs, now in LED only, again with respect to the brightness, with respect to the glare that the light creates. So even we are fighting upon that, or we are making them more efficient with respect to the power consumption and the brightness that it gives. So sodium lamps, like, they produce light in 360 degrees. So basically the bulb structure itself will be like this. Bulb structure will be like this. So they are connected with the electrodes like this, and they can give 360 degree. But when you look any LED light, so that is fixed, or that is embedded on a platform, So that is why it will be having only 180 degree brightness, or it can give light to only 180 degree. But in this case, it can give 360 degree this thing. So that is why this one is correct. Coming to the street lights, sodium lamps have longer lifespan than LED lamps. No, these sodium lamps are having lesser lifespan compared to LEDs. That is why, like, we are trying to replace. There are two reasons to replace. One is they are not efficient. That means the power that it uses for the brightness that it gives, like, it is more. So we are trying to replace that one. And second thing, it is with respect to the long life. So LEDs are having more lifespan compared to the sodium lamps. And spectrum of visible light from sodium lamps is almost monochromatic, while LED lamps offer significant color. So LED is a white light. So here you will see all the wavelengths or the frequencies that are present in the visible light. But when it comes to the sodium lamps, so it excites only certain frequencies, where you will see the yellowish light. So that is why we can say it is a monochromatic. So depending upon the spectrum analysis of different chemical compounds, we can say that these chemical compounds can release certain wavelengths. So that is part of the spectrum analysis that we do for chemicals. So they are monochromatic compared to the LED lamps. Hence, the answer is C. And when it comes to the source or the rationale behind the question, the National Street Light Program. For this, we have a different entity to implement this one. And why this question has been asked? Because most of the states have taken up this job to replace the sodium lamps with LEDs. So that is the reason why this question might have come. I can't say that is the only reason it has come. That might be the reason. So we have to be as modest as possible, because UPSC is trying to break those trends. Then ACE2. This is with respect to a certain enzyme. So this is a receptor that will help the viruses to get stuck to the cells. So these receptors can be present over different parts of the body, different tissues. It is not just the lungs that will be affected by the coronavirus, but it can affect the different organs also, different tissues also, because of the presence of this ACE2 enzyme. Again, the long form of that you don't have to remember, because so many enzymes, so many proteins, receptor proteins you will come across when you are studying about COVID, or that with respect to any infection. So here, since the spread of viral disease is there, so this discussion on ACE2, the receptor enzyme, so that has become very important to know. So that is why this question has come, and this is with respect to the spread of viral diseases that it has come into the news. Next question, it is with respect to one of the pollutant that we come across. And every year we see questions with respect to pollutants. So one or the other pollutant is asked, either their sources are asked or the effects of them are asked. So now it has become very important to know the different types of pollutants that they are coming, or the ingredients of our day-to-day life, or the equipments or the appliances that we use on daily basis. what all the chemicals that they emit that we have to know, and also their effects we should know. Now this year they have focused upon bisphenol. And this is the structural content of a particular plastic type, that is the polycarbonate. In this one, we have many types of plastics, right from the microplastics to the PVC. We have the PETs, we have PVCs, we have polythenes, and also we have polycarbonate. With this polycarbonate, the harder structures are made. So that is into the day-to-day usage. These days, many plastic types are there in our regular usage. We can't do away with those things. So that is why we have to be extra careful about the different chemicals that they can release into the environment. So bisphenol, this is associated with polycarbonate. So the question might have come because of the rising market for the polycarbonate, because these polythenes or polycarbonates or any types of plastic, they can easily replace the age-old utensils that we use or the age-old appliances that we use, which are mainly the alloy-based or which are basically the metal-based, because the plastic is cheaper to produce, and we are producing that one. And with respect to the consumables that we go for, definitely the plastic is the necessary evil that has come in our lives. So we have to find ways to replace this necessary evil by the different technologies. So here the answer is B. The next question, it is about triclosan. Triclosan, again, they are focusing about our day-to-day usage. So here they are focusing upon the different things that we come across on daily basis. Again, it becomes very important for us to know the chemicals that are present in different appliances or the different items that we use on daily basis. So these are general awareness questions, and this particular triclosan is used in toiletries. So maybe it is with respect to the fast or FMCG, what we say, FMCG like toothpaste, soap, or the toiletries that we use. So fast marketing consumable goods, that is what we use, and triclosan is used in that just to avoid certain bacterial contamination. To avoid the bacterial contamination, we use this triclosan. But triclosan has its own effect on the human body and also on the environment. So that is what we have to know. Next thing, it is a bit debatable question because they have asked about light years. Light years is used as one of the unit for measuring distance, that to the larger distance when we are trying to measure. So basically, we calculate the distance that is covered by the light in 1 year in terms of certain meter or kilometer, but that is very difficult to write it on the paper because it will use many zeros or many digits. So we take one unit as light year unit. So that is the distance covered by light in a year. Anyways, the first two can be easily eliminated, but the last two, like, we have to think over it. And again, we have closed in on this particular option because light always travels in a straight line, and whenever we are trying to get the knowledge of certain astronomical body, it depends upon the light that it is trying to reflect. So the light that it reflects from the different solar system or the sun-like star or the sun itself, so that is making us to observe that particular celestial body. So definitely the light is getting reflected. That is why we are able to see that particular celestial body. Here, there are chances that the speed of light may vary depending upon the contamination in the atmosphere or due to the particles in the atmosphere. So definitely the contamination level near the atmosphere or near the surface of the earth, like that, there are chances that there might be certain contaminations in the universe that may affect the speed of light. But again, there are certain theories which will tell that the lights will bend near the black holes. But again, black holes are the subjects which we need to like explore it completely. Those are not understood in 100%. So that is why we'll take a chance with this particular answer that the light will travel always in a straight line. That is why we are able to observe different celestial bodies, and also we are using the light year as the astronomical unit, or like we are using that as the unit for distance. Next question, it is about the vaccines. So in our current affairs class, we had covered different types of vaccines. In that, we have the recombinant vector vaccines, where a particular microbe or the particular virus is genetically modified, and that is put into the shell of a different virus or a different protein. So basically here, the virus that has to be fight or that has to be fought. So for that, we take a certain genetically modified virus and we try to put it in a different shell. So the vaccine type that we are talking about, the Covishield these days, this is such a vaccine that we have around. So here genetic engineering is applied definitely, because we are trying to insert into the shell of a different virus here. So this is correct. Second point, bacteria and viruses are used as vectors. Yeah, we have many vaccines derived out of bacteria and viruses, where this is a regular practice to go ahead with the recombinant vector. This recombination itself is genetic engineering. This recombinant technology, where we try to use certain messenger RNA and we try to cut the particular genetic material with molecular scissors. So this technology itself will give us the clue that this is genetically engineered, and this is applied for both bacteria and virus. Hence the answer becomes C, that is both 1 and 2. And again, the inspiration is the COVID. So the COVID vaccines that we are trying to use around the world. So that becomes the rationale behind this particular question. Then next statement or next question is about hereditary diseases. The UPSC has become very much obsessed with this particular disease, mitochondrial disease, because last year also we have seen a particular question with respect to pro-nuclear transfer, where we try to enucleate mother cell with a genetic material, and we try to fix up a different genetic material there, and then we go for the IVF. So here the genetical modification that is done before the IVF, because in IVF we fertilize the egg. So here, before the fertilization, we are trying to do the pro-nuclear transfer in the mother cell. So when it comes to the statements, passing on mitochondrial diseases from parent to child can be prevented by mitochondrial replacement. Yes, this is absolutely fine. This is absolutely fine. And this is either before or after. So this makes the sentence incorrect, because this is only before the IVF, that is done. Second, a child inherits mitochondrial disease entirely from mother. Yes, this is correct, because some of the congenital diseases that we have, that is completely traced back to the mother, because the source of energy or the mitochondria, which is called as the powerhouse of the cell, that is completely inherited from mother, not the father. So that is why this is restricted to the children, so which are getting the congenital disease from the mother. Hence the answer is 2 only. Next question, it is with respect to Bollgard 1 and Bollgard 2. So here, this is the name given to the type of BT cotton or Bacillus thuringiensis cotton that we use, which will be having incorporated insecticide into it. So the name given to this by the company that is a subsidiary of this one, the Bayer's company. So that used Bolgard 1 and Bolgard 2 as the names for that particular cotton. So here I can say these are the pesticide incorporated, this one, I mean the chemicals or the pesticides are already incorporated in that, or the insecticide that we call. So the bollworm is the target here, bollworm is the target, so which eats up this particular genetically modified protein, that is CRY1AC, or like different forms of that are there, so that will definitely collapse after eating that one. So this is with respect to GM crops. GM crops. Next, it is with respect to the very basic understanding of the physics phenomena. Physics phenomena. So that is why I have stressed in my class also, that is, we have to know the phenomena that are happening around us. So especially the appliances like washing machine, microwave oven, or for that matter, the cooker that we use, that is a pressure cooker. So we have to understand the working of that one. So here, by applying pressure, the boiling point of the water is increased. Boiling point of the water is increased. So basically the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees centigrade, but it will increase, the pressure will increase the boiling point, and even at 120 degrees centigrade or beyond that, or 200 degrees centigrade, let us, for the assumption, we'll take that as an assumption, and at that time also the water will be used for the cooking, because after 100 degrees centigrade the water will get evaporated and the proper cooking will not happen. So that is why in cooker the pressure will allow the boiling point to raise, and at the higher temperature the cooking will happen. That is why we see the cooking happens very fast. So that is the application of pressure. So for that application of pressure, what all things will be crucial that we have to check? Area of the hole in the lid. As the hole or the size of the hole decreases, the pressure will increase, because the area of the hole in the lid, so that is where the escaping of the this one steam, or the vent for the steam is fixed. So as it becomes smaller, the pressure increases. Pressure increases. So this is correct. Definitely temperature of the flame. Yeah. So that is directly proportional to the pressure that we are trying to build. That is also important. Without the temperature of the flame, like the cooking will not happen. Then weight of the lid. Why this is important? Because in different places we have different atmospheric pressure. In the plains we have different atmospheric pressure. In the higher altitudes we have different atmospheric pressure. So before we put the lid, there will be certain atmospheric pressure inside the cooker. So that will be affected by the weight that we are trying to put on the lid. We are trying to put on the lid. So even the weight of the lid is crucial while we are trying to use the cooker. So all these three factors matter while we cook the food inside the pressure cooker. Next question, it is with respect to the culturing of the microbes. So the microbial culture is very important these days, because we can synthesize them inside the laboratory. In the petri dish, when we give them the environment for growth, maybe that is with respect to the nutrients that they require and the temperature that they require and the moisture that they require, if we provide them inside the laboratory, they are going to proliferate, and we are applying this for the growth of bacteria and fungus. Bacteria and fungus, but virus, it needs above that environment, some things which are beyond that environment, that is the host organism. Host organism, or the cells of the host organism, it needs. It can only be proliferated, or which can grow only inside the body of the host organism or the cell of the host organism. That is why we can't synthesize them artificially inside the laboratory in the medium. Different medium, we cannot cultivate them. So that is why answer is 1 and 2 only. Again, with respect to COVID, lot of research is happening, and the gain of function, so where we point the genesis of the COVID-19 infection again. So that was the trial to mutate the this one virus, but unknowingly or intentionally or unintentionally, so that has been released into the nature. I am not alleging anyone here, but these are the opinions that we are getting across the globe. So this has necessitated us to think about the culturing of different microbials in the laboratory. Next question, it is with respect to the viral diseases. Earlier, the trend was like they used to ask about the different bacterial diseases or the viral diseases or the fungal diseases they used to ask. But now they have gone inside the viral diseases, because the viral diseases are in discussion since last 2 years, since the time of COVID-19, that is from November 2019. We are talking about different viral infections. So when it comes to viral infections, as I told earlier, they need host organisms, and they will get divided or they will proliferate only inside the host organism. Either they want DNA or RNA to proliferate. So DNA based and RNA based infection that we have to look into. So here adenoviruses have single stranded DNA. No. So here adenoviruses, they have double stranded. So in general flu that we have, or the common cold what we have, so the cause are the adenoviruses here, adenoviruses. So they have double strand. So this becomes wrong. And also the retroviruses, what they have, they are RNA based. So they are RNA based. So RNA based, again, they are the single stranded. They are the single stranded RNA. For example, AIDS is example for the retroviral infection. So this becomes wrong. Common cold is sometimes caused by adenovirus. Yes, that is correct. Absolutely correct. Double-stranded DNA dependent virus. Then AIDS is caused by retrovirus. Yes, that is also correct. Hence, the answer is 2 only. So here the viral infections are there in discussion. That is why this question has come. So those are the questions like which I had to discuss under the science and technology this thing. So there are around 12 questions, but again, when we look into the paper, basically they have gone in depth and they have gone for the basics. They have not asked anything with respect to space, anything with respect to defense, anything with respect to nanotechnology, anything with respect to information and communication technology, anything with respect to the robotics. So even with respect to the advanced technologies in the communication technology, they have not asked. So that is the change in the trend that we are seeing. Again, we have to give importance for every aspect. So one who has neglected the basic science or biology or basic physics or the health issues, then that person will be put into disadvantage in this particular paper. That is why our suggestion would be to go for the indiscriminate approach, where you have to study all the subjects and all the subtopics in the subject thoroughly. So that is the advice. Hope all of you have learnt something from this particular session or from the prelims paper this year, and definitely we have to get resolved for the higher things. If you are clearing the prelims, get prepared for the mains. For that we have a program that is called as mains enrichment program, and along with that we are conducting test series for different optionals also. And for the people who wants to start anew, definitely they can subscribe our this one year-long foundation course, where they can learn all these basics that have been asked in the examination. And again, our special focus will be to include whatever that are being missed by the institutions while they are covering this one. So definitely the medicine, that is the new dimensions that we have to put into the science and technology learnings. So that's it from my side. Hope you have gained something from this session. So I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you very much.